In a hurry, what became a mainstay for Americans of a certain age and sold over 8 million copies since its 1990 release. You're correct if you said that vanilla ices to the extreme. But then so did the Ford Explorer, which all those decades ago swiftly took the place of boring station wagons as the preferred family vehicle. Naturally, all those children grew up and presumably started listening to Kenny Chesney or whatever, but many of them continued to be explorers, especially once they had children of their own. The sixth version of Ford's SUV debuted in 2019 and represented a return to the vehicle's rear-drive origins. The issue facing Ford is that the Explorer hasn't been very competitive, and the once dominant SUV in America has dropped to the bottom of the pack. It recently placed dead last in our ultimate car rankings of 3-row SUVs and finished last in a MotorTrend 7-vehicle big test. The lack of state-of-the-art technology, an unrefined overall feel, and an interior that feels cheap are to blame. For admirers of the Explorer, there's good news. Ford rectified all three of these issues in the recently tested 2025 model. But did the business go far enough to restore the Explorer's position as the best? What was not necessarily fixed? But first, let's start with the things that the 6th generation Explorer was already good at. Similar to the pre-2025 model, the new one is stylish overall, spacious, and features an easy-to-access third row. There is a good-sized underfloor bin in the cargo area. The second and third rows can be folded flat, the latter with rapid one-touch power operation in ritzier versions. And the comfy front seats provide good forward sight. With its potent twin-turbo V6 engine and quick driving, the sporty ST model is a true joy to drive for a 3-row SUV. With the hybrid powertrain no longer available, the 400 horsepower 415 lb-ft V6 is now the top choice, and the lineup is now limited to only 4 trim levels: Active, ST Line, Platinum, and ST. On the ST, the V6 is standard, and it may be had on the Platinum. However, owners of Active and ST Line models will have no trouble using their 2.3-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder vehicle. With its 300 horsepower and 310 lb-ft of torque, it can decisively push the 2-plus-ton Explorer off the line. With either engine, the Explorer is rated to tow 5,000 pounds, and the 10-speed automatic transmission that is standard on the entire series shifts gears smoothly and generally makes sense. The 4-cylinder's strong exhaust noise sounds outrageously overblown, especially in sport mode, which is our only serious criticism. Locate a vehicle nearby. What about the modifications now? Although the Explorer's interior has been updated, it hasn't suddenly become an elegant, aspirational destination. The third row still features hard plastic armrests, but otherwise there are more soft materials in high visibility and high-touch areas, along with a more intriguing and practical design. The Explorer's designers appear to have taken inspiration from the Maverick compact pickup's specification to incorporate an eclectic blend of textures, colors, and shapes, transforming ordinary plastics into something more than the sum of their parts. The door cards and seats of some trims have hexagonal patterns. The dash has a fabric speaker bar, and the noticeable new silver plastic trim stripe is adorned with Explorer badging and ridging. The atmosphere is significantly better, although certain cheap-looking elements, like the second-row fold-down cup holders, for example, remain. 2 digital panels that come standard with every version, a 13.2-inch touchscreen that functions as the infotainment display, and a 12.3-inch unit dedicated to driver information also contribute to the reason. Additionally, a new central shelf with a wireless charging station on the left side for upper trim levels may accommodate 2 sizable cell phones. We can overlook the fact that it leaves the tops of the phones exposed to burn in the midday sun. Since it is so very useful, it feels better to drive with the 2025 model. The Explorer's erratic and imprudent driving style appears to have been subdued. Even though it is still eager, an accelerator that we have previously criticized for being too jumpy feels better suited for a 3-row family SUV. Although we had previously experienced unsteady ride quality and grabby brakes in 6th generation Explorers, the 2025 model's brakes never caused us to stop during our afternoon drive. All except one of the 4 cars we drove handled rough and uneven dirt roads with ease. The base Active model was the exception. While it was also adequate, it showed greater wheel flutter and patter. The driving is precise and not overly heavy, and the Explorer is simple to park and put in your lane. Of course, there are a number of drive modes, like off-road and sport, that very few, if any, owners will ever use, despite the fact that they do signal.